This is On the Bench with the two Johnnies with Bord Gosh Energy. The summer's heating up now. Make the most of it with some new solar panels from today's sponsor, Bord Gosh Energy. Save up to €1,000 and get a free BER cert. Bord Gosh Energy. Know your power.
Hello.
You're welcome to On the Bench, a 6-part podcast series with some of the biggest legends in the GAA.
I am Johnny B.
And I'm Johnny Smacks.
Right, lads, every week we are joined by stars from the world of hurling and football, and they will answer the same 7 questions about pre-season, career highlights and life in the dressing room.
And on the bench this week is one of the greatest to ever grace the game. A 3-time All-Ireland winner, 5-time Munster champion, National League medal, but that's only the start. 3 consecutive All-Stars, a Hurler of the Year title in 2004, and a place on the Munster team of the past 25 years. His impact on the game is undeniable. Seán hAilpín, welcome to the podcast.
What an intro.
Thanks, fellas.
Great
to see you, lads.
That is some roll of honour there. Do you ever sit back and think, jeez, I was class? Because that's exactly what I'd be doing. And I've won nothing.
Look, when you live through it, you don't view it that way. It's all about playing your next game and you're focused on your next game. But I don't have kids myself, but I have nieces and nephews, and every now and then they would reference, oh, uncle, did you win this? Did you win that? And so I'm kind of like the cool uncle. And then they'd name drop every now and then, that my uncle Seán. But look, my answer to that is to win those accolades, you have to play with great players and good players, and you have to be with a very good team. And I was fortunate enough to share most of my hurling career with Galaxy of Stars.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about it. Pre-season.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you seem like a man who actually enjoyed pre-season and the hard training, did you?
See, the key was to portray that you enjoyed it. Because you would demoralise guys more by portraying, but deep down inside, oh Jesus, I hated the sight of pre-season training. I would have rather stayed at home, watch Coronation Street than subject myself to 3-4 months of just hell. It's just hell. Like anyone that doesn't, it's hard to explain to someone that doesn't play sport or like that hasn't done a pre-season because it takes your body, it takes your mind to places like unimaginable. But when it comes to the summer, it makes sense because
you're glad of it.
You see the benefits of a grueling pre-season. So I started my career in the mid-90s, so this was still the era of like Mick O'Dwyer laps, you know, kind of. So my first 3-4 years with Cork was running laps of the Páirc Uí Chaoimh tunnels during the winter. And it was like,
in runners.
In runners. And like, I'm sure if there was an ISO 9000 for like training facilities, Páirc Uí Chaoimh would have failed every ticking box, like, you know, kind of. And then, and even when I look at the standard of runners we were running in, like, you know, kind of when you hear these groovy runners, no, like
that have like and Asics and all these carbon fiber,
but like to be fair to the GA players, like they have great endeavour. You tell them what to, and they'll just do it. Like they won't question it. They'll just do it. It might give him hip operations later on in life or knee replacements, but like at that moment in time, if the course tells you to do it, you just do it. So yeah, that was the first couple of pre-seasons now with the hurls. Then my first year with the footballers was 1997. Okay, and the Cork football manager back then was a fellow by the name of Larry Tompkins, Larry the Lion, right? Great Cork legend. Kildare originally, but came to Cork and then changed Cork's fortunes. So Larry drafts me in the training panel, so that's grand. So this is late winter coming up to Christmas, 1997. So he says, yeah, look, train is on Sunday morning, 9 o'clock down in Inchydoney. So for a city slicker that hadn't been outside Cork City, Inchydoney might as well be in San Francisco to me now, or like Timbuktu. So I arrive in Inchydoney, lovely beach, out setting. I thought we were just going to do like go for a swim or something like that. So there's 2 beaches in Inchydoney. So you have the West Beach and you have the East Beach. But on the East Beach, there's grassy sand dunes, grassy sand dunes. And there's a 1K kind of track. Yeah, spot on, Smacks. There's a loop. So you do one loop of that, which was around a K, and you do it 5 times, right? So that was grand. But on that loop, the first 100 meters, you could, from the start, you have vision. Then you don't have vision of what the runners are doing after that until they come to the last probably 50 meters, right? So any fella who had notion said, that's grand, once I go to the side here, no, I can take a hand, or whatever. So Larry, who's the manager, who's giving the instruction, he takes off his tracksuit and he's in his shorts. I said, fuck, what's going on there? Larry joins and the runs.
Oh man, there's no hiding place.
So you couldn't hide. And the man was a running machine. I'd say he was just finished playing probably 2 or 3 years, kind of. And then, so Larry would be leading the pack, and then all of a sudden, then he'd come back to the end of the pack and be shouting at fellas who were struggling to get, and he'd sprint up to the top and he'd lead the pack. And then at the end of one loop, because it wasn't flat terrain, it was over there, at the end of the loop, it was like a scene of Braveheart. There was fellas like just all over gawking, fellas looking for an ambulance, fellas looking for like CPR, and then he says, okay, I can't do a Kildare accent, but okay, fellas, I'll give you 3 minutes off, and then that's grand, and then like after about 30 seconds, all right lads, we're back again. Is that 3 minutes up? I said, I don't care, get going, you're fucking soft, hAilpín, you're fucking soft, lad. And then so I was in college in DCU that time, so I'd be home for the weekends. So that was Sunday morning. After that, Dad would drop me to Kent Station and I'd get the train back up to Dublin. I had great intentions. I put my books in Kent Station to kind of revise what I did. Like, as soon as I went out of the tunnel in Kent Station, my head just flopped down into the unit. And then you'd be woken up by the train master, Houston Station. So I conked out for 3 because I was just flat, completely flat. But I remember there was one morning, this was the time pre-Wi-Fi, broadband, kind of. So we arrived down, obviously the beach is tidal, right? So to get to the sand dunes, that it has to be low tide where you can walk along. Yeah. So we came down and it was like fucking Christmas, lads. Larry obviously got the tides wrong and the tide was in. Yeah. And if you fucking had saw 40 fellas in the car park, fucking high five, because training had to be cancelled. Like Larry was like a fucking antichrist, like, but oh my god, it was.
And then it changed, obviously.
It got more scientific after that as the years went on, and then you had fellas with degrees coming in with 40 letters after their name, and they were telling you check your pee in the morning, what colour is it, and then you were continually weighed throughout the season, and then the fitness tests were more like measured, and like the bleed tests started coming in. They were taking
less barbaric.
Less barbaric, but it was indoors, like so. And then the calipers would come out and take your body fat percentage. And then you'd have speed gas to do that. So even though it got more scientific, I suppose the big change was like that. Yeah, instead of harder, they were kind of working a bit more smarter than before. But I always look back at the pre-seasons. That's what makes or breaks a team, and the bonding, the connection they have. Because like when everyone is suffering on the day of a big game, you could look at your teammates' eye and says, "Yeah, he went through that. I went through that," and then you could be sure like that. He's the first fella to drag you out, like when things are going tough, and vice versa. So,
do you think things like people go off for a weekend with the army and doing carrying stuff and running through water and all?
Yeah, they still do it, Johnny V. Yeah, like they still do it. I think beneath it all, it's the bond guys. Yeah, the team with the greatest bond,
that'll get there,
can achieve more things than a team of great individuals. But that don't necessarily, play for each other. So, like the players and the characters that you get to share, like
on that. So, what was the dressing room like when you first went into it in Cork?
Daunting enough now. Yeah. Daunting enough because when I come in '96, you have like Teddy McCarthy, the late, God rest his soul, the late Teddy Mac. is there a word beyond legendary? Like, well, that's what Teddy Mack was in Cork. Like, the only man in the GAA to win 2 All-Irelands in the 1 year. I mean, we've had players that have won All-Irelands hurling and football, but not in the same year. So Teddy's still in the dressing room. You have Tomás Mulcahy, who captained Cork in 1990, Jim Cashman, Seán Mack, my heroes actually, when I was a late teenager in the 80s and early 90s, going to games, they were so I find myself in the dressing room with these guys, and you're just afraid to talk because like you don't sound like an idiot saying something out of order. Or so the only guy that bridged between that generation and my generation was the Brian Cochran. Who was a lot closer to my age, and he was a great father figure. No, Brian Cochran, to myself and a lot of the young fellas around my age that had come in, like, and he was the fella, he put the arm around you and he kind of prepared you for what was ahead. And then this is like this is no criticism on the older guys, but the older guys were kind of more like, you know, earn your stripes.
Yeah.
They didn't say much, just earn your stripes and like build your respect in the dressing room. Where Brian kind of had a softer touch about.
Is that where he got the nickname?
The daddy.
I don't know, Johnny B, but
it seems to suit
he carried, because when those fellas started retiring, we went through a 9-year lull, like where we didn't win an All-Ireland, and then like our mainstay that kept together was Brian Cochran for years, like, and then like we went through bad years, but he was the only fella that was, you know, like he was keeping the thing together, and he was our leader, and not a man of many words, Brian. You know, like very much spoke by his actions now. You know,
well, is there a moment, or is there a team talk that stands out in your mind?
And then I'm coming to this, like, so the most powerful, I mean, I've heard the most bizarre things in dressing rooms now, like, you know, kind of, will I go and tell the ref, blow it up like at half time, like there's no
reverse psychology.
Yeah, exactly. Like, kind of, like, do you know what I'm going to go and tell the referee we're not coming out, blow it up, ref, kind of. So do you want me to do that, lads? Obviously not, like, but like, kind of. I suppose the most powerful words that I heard was from Brian Cochran. So this is 2004 All-Ireland final against Kilkenny. The previous year we'd been beaten by Kilkenny, but Brian had taken a sabbatical for 2 years, so he wasn't involved in 2002 and 3.
Yeah.
So in 2004, half-time, high stakes now, we hadn't played well in the first half. Kilkenny were about 3-4 points ahead of us, and the narrative was that we had blown the All-Ireland final before that against Kilkenny, and we probably didn't have the stomach, do you know what I mean, that when it came to and then everyone was saying their piece, and then there was a small bit of panic, you know, kind of. Brian, the man that says very little, said, lads, I didn't come back to pick up a fucking runners-up medal. And he just fucking walked out. And it was like Jesus Christ leading the disciples after that. He just walked out, and we were just, okay, grand, fucking, oh yeah. As simple as that.
He had the presence,
it's just as simple as that. I didn't come back to fucking win a runners-up medal. And the rest is history in terms of that game. Like in the second half, guys perform better and we win. But I think people take credence in what he says, because when he's a player that doesn't say too often, that doesn't speak too often, that's great. Because sometimes they're like players that speak too often, and then they might be saying, they might be relaying great messages, but it's kind of lost because you're used to hearing that. Like, but
so Brian, he'd retired, and then I heard a story that after the 2002 All-Ireland final, he actually met you.
The 03, spot on. The 03 finally, he came out to the team hotel afterwards
for a chat, just say hello, like.
Just to say hello, and I suppose he had experienced losing All-Ireland, being on losing All-Ireland teams, so he knows like the atmosphere is fucking cat is like it's like a funeral, like, you know. And then, like, it's the difference between win and lose, because if you win, sure, the hotel is Jim Jams, like, you know, people can't get into it. But when you lose, and people might have had good intentions to go when you lose, they don't want to be associated with. So Brian was one of the few guys that came out to the hotel, and he was like, he sensed that there was something, like, even though we had lost, but there was something in that group.
Yeah. That he'd felt like.
He said there was from the, like, and he was proven right in the end, because when he came back the year after, I mean, and then he was probably the missing link. And then Brian up to that stage, Johnny B had played in the back line.
Yeah.
So when he came back, he converted into a forward.
His drop shot goal.
What is world? So I do a bit of coaching. I try and teach forwards who will bottle up to drop pucket, like, you know.
You don't see it much now.
No. Like Pat Fox was another fella I used to see doing it, like, around the square. But you're right. You don't see the drop puck much. It's kind of like it's become a Tyrannosaurus Rex, really, like, of hurling. Like,
for us and Ross Gray had a dual purpose.
Yes,
the drop shot, like, would like stop you from being balled up, and it'll also make it like out of the way.
But it get like, if you hit that drop shot sweet in Gaelic football, man, God, you could kick 100 meters, like. And then just this just tells you the quality of the player. Like, there's not many players that can, like, master both sides of the ground, you know, like
and forward.
So Brian has won All-Stars as a back and a forward, won All-Stars as a back and as a forward. So
came back and won the All-Ireland. Unbelievable stuff.
And we won 2 then, 04 and 05. Like, Brian being Brian being the key guy. But
what's the dressing room like after you win All-Ireland?
Yeah, I want to say magic, but it's not. It's relief, lad. It's really like it's like us sitting here, and you're so exhausted you can barely talk. Like you're miming the words out, and you end up like just.
We got there.
Like, you're just spent, like, you know, kind of, because people tend to forget the game is 70 minutes, right? But it's the concentration levels that you need when you wake up that morning. Like, so it's nearly like a half day of concentration, which is fatigue in itself. Do you know, like, just being on it from the moment you wake up, and everything is on a schedule. Like, you know, you have to be a certain time. At this time you have to be there. At another time you have to be there. At another certain time you have to be here. So come 5 o'clock, like, you know, and after the exertions of a tough game, Jesus, you're
just happy that got there.
It's only when you shower and when you try on your tracksuit again that things it's starting to dawn on you
what you've done,
what the team has achieved, and then you're saying, oh Jesus, there's a banquet later on, there'll be great crack at that, and then you have the homecoming and then everything. So I was lucky enough to be part of 3 winning All Irelands. My first one, because it was new to me, I didn't know what to do. Like, I was 22, 23 years of age. I was so this is it, like, is it? Because when you hear stories about, you know, players or teams winning All Irelands, you build it up to be like the Willy Wonka of your experience, and say, this is it. Right, okay, grand. The dressing rooms, like, it's sacrosanct, like, you know, and then this is bizarre when I mention this for a generation of, like, your listeners know, this would be completely bizarre. Like, media now wouldn't be allowed this day and age, like 100 miles near a dressing room, like. But when I started off, like, you used to have media people coming in, and one of the highlights of my championship, like my championship years, especially in the earlys, were media. Micheál O'Murray used to come in.
Yes. Yeah.
The great Micheál, the voice of Ireland, like, he used to come in. So his main objective coming into the dressing room before the game was to go to the manager in preparation for his radio commentary. Is there any late changes or this, that and the other? And then if he knew a player or two, he'd go over and he'd strike up a chat. Like, so
you're in the dressing room talking out for All Ireland.
And then you could be talking to me all over in Irish. because I went to an all-Irish school, speaking school, and he had a great graph for Irish. He kind of said to Seán, well, to Brahanov Seán, and then he says, "Vi mi Toration Park." A shulo, Tashban and the boots. So he was saying, look, show me your boots there, because I'm after walking the pitch there. I think like the pitch is a bit slippy, so you want to change your cogs. Like, oh yeah, sure, you always bring 2 pairs of boots. So like, he was my guiding light when it came to wearing boots, because like he had walked it. Like, and then when I mentioned this to people, like, what? Me, they come into the dressing room and they're already talking before the game. So like, it was a bizarre experience. You wouldn't see it now today, but it was a bizarre experience. But like, I'm thankful to have those experiences. Like,
well, can we ask you about rivalry, Seán?
Oh yeah.
On the pitch, who's your biggest rival?
See, it depended. It depended on the stages of your hurling career. So at underage, it was yourselves, the Blue and Gold, right? Tipperary. My first lesson in hurling was an under 16 game against Tipperary, right? And then I was marking a guy who, during the game, he says, "Can I borrow your hurley?" Because
the rivets are coming loose.
Because exactly from the grey. So I was Gambine here, raw from Cork City, right? Gives him the hurley, so that's grand. And then next I see the ball coming down nowhere. I'm looking for my hurley, and my hurley's in row Z. He's after throwing it, and I'm running out, talking to Vantage, and that, like, my coach is going like ballistic. Like, he's like, "Ha'ilpín, what are you fucking out? Get back!" I said, "I'm trying to get my fucking hurley. Get back!" And I learned fairly quickly after that.
Who was the tip lad? You can name him. Who was it?
Liam Cahill. Liam Cahill was far advanced in the dark arts, and I was like, Jesus.
That's amazing.
So yeah, underage was Tipperary, and then when it came to senior level, then it kind of branched out. Tipperary is still arch rivals. They always are. Like, it's the traditional pairing in Munster.
Cork is special, like.
Yeah. Like, we all would have grown up in Cork Tip. Games, rivalries over the years. The stories are relayed. You're reminded who Johnny Doyle is, who Chrissy Ring is, Jimmy Doyle, Tony Wall, Ray Cummins, Jimmy Barry Murphy, and it's the former players and the characters that build that mystique about Cork and Tip, and it's a proper rivalry that no team is on top for too long.
Yeah.
That's what a rivalry is like. Kind of when you have one team who is beating the other team,
it's not a rivalry.
No, it's a road. That's a road.
Yeah.
But like, so on any given year, so that makes the Sunnies game unique now, because I'm waiting for a Cork retaliation now, like, after Tip beating them last year. And then that's the way it goes, is up and down. And then for the Corkonian, we view Semple Stadium as a home ground to us. We just love going up the Thurles. We prefer to play Tipperary up in Semple Stadium than down in Parky Key, which is bizarre. And I suppose it's a day out. You go to the town in Thurles. There's a great atmosphere, Liberty Square, and you meet the characters. You meet the characters at the square and leading up to the pitch, and it's the closest thing, in my view, to Mecca.
Yeah,
you have the Muslims. They go to Mecca to pay homage to Allah, and give thanks. We go to Semple Stadium to pay respect to the great ancient game of hurling and the warriors that play on the pitch. So in the middle of my playing career, Waterford then, not out of nowhere, like Waterford were building up a good team, but they become like a pain in the butt for us, like, kind of
epic games.
We had we had seesawed battles, along the way, and again, like a proper rivalry, they might nick us one year, we come back a following year, and they'd nick us, like, but so in those games, I used to mark a fella by the name of Dan Shannon, right? Character, like, I would have known Dan from way back, because our club and like his club is Lismore, we kind of had a connection on the age where we go down and we played them in games and vice versa. So we knew each other quite well since under 12s, like, and even at schools level. He went to Lismore CBS, I went to the North Monastery, so we would have played at schools level. So like, great hurler, but some man to talk in the pitch, like. Oh, jeez. And I used to, like, he knew how to punch my buttons, obviously, like, because, like the stuff he would come out like, but like, so just say if Johnnie got a point, so Joe played corner, he'd look around to me and he knew my name was Ogie. He said, Ogie, he must have been flying and training all week, lad, was he? What's that about?
Yeah, like, a weird thing to say.
Right, grand. And then the 2004 Munster final, we come out a bit late after half time. And he turned, he says, what kept you, Ogie? Was it tactics? Was it tactics, lad? Was it? And then, I said, will you fucking shut up, lad? But so that 2004 Munster final.
That's an unbelievable game.
Yeah, look, epic game. If you're a Waterford supporter, when you're on the losing end, you don't see it as an epic game. You see it as an opportunity lost. But the game hinges really on Paul Flynn's free. Paul Flynn gets a free 40 metres out. And then you know yourself, lads, if I lay 40 metres out, you're just assuming he's going to tap it over the bar. Like, you know, you wouldn't have, like, who would have the Leroy, the audacity to go for a goal? Right. So our backline is standing in front of Don Lowe, and then we're looking out, and then Dan Shannon is roaring at us. He's going for it, lads. I'm telling you now, he's going for it, lads. He's going for it, lads. Cusick, he's going for it, lads. He's going for it. Be ready, he's going for it. And then Cusick is telling us, will someone break a hurley off that fella and shut him up? So that's grand anyway. Paul Flynn strikes the ball. We're all just half looking up that it's going over the bar, and the ball dips underneath the crossbar into the goal. Oh, Jesus. Dan's next reaction then, he turns around and he's leaping up and down like Darby O'Gill and the fucking little people. I told you, lads, he was going for it. And the embarrassment on us having to walk out. And then like that sets Waterford's revival then. And then touch and go on Waterford nippers by a point, like, you know. And that game is famous for one John Milan. Like, John Milan gets sent off early in the second half, and that's the famous interview. I love my county. Which is bizarre, like, you wouldn't see that. No, can you imagine camera on a fella that's been sent off? Like, you wouldn't see it.
No one's interviewing him. Yeah,
and he's overrun with fans around him, all roaring, "We love you, John Boy."
And then he's interviewed, and you have half a Waterford behind him, and then and then John is very upset. He's emotionally upset because there's emotions going through his head. They're after winning the Munster hurling final, but he feels like that he's let the team on, and he says, I love my county, and we love you, John. We love you, John.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Classic moments, like so and then obviously Kilkenny. Then I have to mention Kilkenny as being like rivals on the pitch. Kilkenny. So the school of thought in Cork is, if you want to really consider yourself in the top bracket of Cork, you need to be Tip and you need to be Kilkenny, to two other traditional county. If you win an All-Ireland, and this is no disrespect to the other county, if you win an All-Ireland not beating any of them along the way, it's
considered a soft one, is it?
It's like,
it's not the same.
It's not gold. It's a silver medal, like, you know, kind of. So, but our own end, Kilkenny started they start to assemble one of the greatest teams ever. Like the greatest under Brian Crowley. Like. And then so we had a rivalry with them for about 3 or 4 years. But after that, it's not a rivalry. Like, it's a shellacking. They hammer us by, like, we would have thought losing by 5 points was a hammering. Like, they were hammering us by 20 digits plus, like, you know. But they were unstoppable. But that rivalry, and I mean this with the utmost respect, the rivalry that you'd have with Tipperary and the other Munster counties would be like there's a mutual respect there. The rivalry between us and Kilkenny is a different type of rivalry. It's kind of like we're the supreme guys here. Do you know, like there's a bit of an alpha dog.
A bit of niggle, really.
Oh yeah, like, and they'll let you know fairly quick, like who's the top dog. Do you know what I mean? And
you've never partaken a bit of mountain yourself on the field. Did you ever bother?
No, Jesus, I wouldn't have had the Louisville lip now, like to go to go battle the battle with someone giving me mouth, and then and it's funny, the players are just wired differently. I like you just tend to, like Stephen Hendry, block it out. You're like a German soccer player, like your tunnel vision, block it out, kind of your focus in the next ball. And then, that was me. And then, like, to be honest, no, like, I used to turn that around into a compliment that if fella was giving you, like, it must have meant that
you were going well.
You're doing something well here. Like,
is there a game that stands out as your most memorable?
I mean, that 2004 Munster final, like, I mean, like, people regard it as one of the greatest Munster hurling finals.
I only watched it again last year.
Did you? Yeah. Obviously, that would be on my top list if we had won that game. But the fact that we didn't didn't win it, we feel like that we completely blew that game. Oh, Jesus. Like,
does it still haunt you now?
Oh, I wake up every second night, lad. I'm telling you now.
Paul Flynn did.
But you went on to win the All-Ireland that year.
We did. And the bizarre, like Waterford, Waterford, their prize for winning the Munster Hurling Championship was a 6-week layoff.
Yeah.
To the All-Ireland semi-final. We play yourselves then next after that in the qualifiers in Killarney, and we play Antrim after that, and we play Wexford in the semi-finals. So we get a bit of momentum because there was a bit of soul searching after we lost that game, lads. I'm telling you, like, because we had lost the All-Ireland final the year before that in a tight game. Yeah. We'd lost another big key in a tight game. So the narrative was out, like, that these fellas, like, can't finish the job at all, like, you know, like that there was a soft underbelly with these guys, and our manager back then was Donal O'Grady, and so morale was low, and then, like, there was a bit of bitching and bickering, and then we're all fucking blaming the referee and blaming blaming everyone but ourselves, like. And, like, Grady said two things that changed the season for us. He said, lads, I've been hearing all week about this, that and the other. He says it's as simple as this. When the final whistle blows and you look at the scoreboard, if you don't have enough scores in the opposition, you don't deserve to win. Literally, shut the fuck up. And he says, the championship starts now to win the All-Ireland. And that was the refocus that we need, like, kind of the fact that he said, the real championship starts now. And he says, I know how many teams left in it. We're one of them. We have a chance. And then we're Waterford was stone cold for 6 weeks. Like, so how do you keep yourself motivated, active, and then all the time you're looking at other teams playing games.
Getting going.
And then Kilkenny pipped them in the semi-final. We beat Wexford in the semi-final, and then we played Kilkenny in the All-Ireland final. So it was that half-time in the All-Ireland final where Brian Cochran mentions, I didn't come back to win a runners-up medal. So that 2004 Munster Hurling final would be a memorable game. I suppose for me it would be captaining Cork in the 2005 All-Ireland final.
Doesn't get much better than that.
I still pinch myself to this day, like, you know, kind of I'm one of 30 captains, you know, from Cork that have lifted the Lee McCarthy Cup, like, you know, and then no matter like will be long and gone, lads, and the game will be continued to play, but it'll be still inscribed 2005 Cork captain
Seán Hawke,
the name, you know, and then so back then Cork had a system of the county champions would elect the captain. That's gone away with now, but back then Oak Club won the All-Ireland 2000 and we win the Cork County Championship 2004.
That's an All-Ireland Cork people.
We win the mini All-Ireland, We won in 2004, so the club elect me.
Yeah. So you're captain.
So I was captain, and then I'm a captain in the year that we win it. Like, so you count your blessings that it's not every year that your club wins the county championship. They give you the opportunity to captain, and it's not every year that when you're captain in Cork that you win in All Ireland. So I'm blessed, lads. And then it's gas you mentioned about the speech there, Johnny Smacks. The people would stop me in the street and they come to me not because of what I won, or they wouldn't recall like that you've won X amount or whatever. My connection with people now is that speech. They just, remember your speech. And they'd start off, say, Seán, kind of satartu nil moran Gaeilge going, but that was a great speech. So like,
when did you decide you were going to do it all at Gaeilge?
I knew, like, so when we won a semi-final, so back then you had a 4-week run-in to the All-Ireland final between the semi-final, which is, semi-finals were early August, usually the August bank holiday weekend, and then the All-Ireland final was a month later in early September. So, like, as soon as we won the semi-final, I had in my head, I says, I'm gonna have my speech all in Irish. So
where'd you get the idea even?
I mean, Irish was a big part of me and the family. And
was there any part of you nervous that it wouldn't be accepted well?
Not really, no. Not really, because I mean there was form there. Like, I mean, if you look over the years, like Joe Connolly gives a great speech, you know, when they won in 1980, he gives a lovely speech. Like he's a native Irish speaker, so it's beautiful. Like in the Connemara Irish, like oh my God, it's like it's like serenading to exactly. And then Pádraig O'Shea then when he captains Kerry in 85, so he's Darragh Kinneady does it. So there's form there, you know. And then I like to me it was a no-brainer because like it's a cultural day. I know for hurling supporters, like it's a hurling game, but it's bigger than that. The All-Ireland hurling final is who we are as Irish people, and it's so it's a cultural day. And then I mean the language as well as the game of hurling is a big part of our culture. So I said, what better way than to marry the two and one of the most biggest cultural days on our Irish calendar. So so that was grand. So I knew in my head what I wanted to say, but I needed to jazz it up a bit. So what better way than to go to a Christian brother that taught me Irish in school, Brother Bozang, Jack Bozang, he's passed away now. So I went to Jack and he says, Jack, this is what I want to say, but is there a way that you can... So there was a few lines, he tied it up. So my first punchline on my first, like, is fada an trose o Fiji go Corkig, agus o Corkig go Park and Crookig. So it's a long journey from Fiji, where my mum is from, to Cork, and from Cork to Park and Crookig. Like, what a great punchline. Which sums up my life story, really, like, you know, kind of, like I can talk about 20 minutes about my life story, but like he sums it up and just, like me Hara Mara Hurtig's line, like, you know, father from Fermanagh, mother from Fiji, neither hurling stronghold. So like, brilliant. Like, so like,
do you remember hearing that?
I don't remember hearing that. Obviously I must have been playing.
Who told you about it?
Yeah, like, I can't remember who told me exactly. And even when I met my I said, do you remember what game? He says, I don't, like, but it started doing it wrong. But like the genius to come up with those words, you know, which sums up, like, and I think in his own special way, he was kind of saying, this fella shouldn't be on a hurling pitch, like.
Can we ask you then about getting in trouble?
Oh yeah.
You had your fair share of it in Cork.
Too many. Yeah. So whether I like it or not, say my career would be marred by the strikes. You know, kind of the strikes that we had against the Cork County Board.
So the first one was in what year was?
The first one was 2002, I think.
What time of the year?
It was like off season.
Yeah. And what was going on that brought it to a head?
As players, we just felt like that. Like the respect wasn't given to players that were putting in huge effort and personal time. into wearing the county jersey, but like it wasn't replicated back. And then there was, and then this might sound petty to people, like, you know, kind of, I mean, like lack of gear, not having proper food after training, you know, even some of the venues that we were training in, you know, kind of, I don't know, it's touching on the bit of Roy Keane and Mick McCarthy, hAilpín, kind of.
But it's all stuff now that's taken for granted. That everything has, you know?
Like, and then, I mean, we're just looking at our rivals there, like, and they're winning, like, and then we're just falling short. And we reckon, like, that it's bad enough trying to beat the opposition, but when your own doesn't help you, you know, Jesus, where are you going? Like, so.
Were Cork behind other counties, or
we felt we were, like, we felt we were, but it was just a bit of culture there, you know, that. When you're playing, you're not feeling the love from the county board, like, you know, kind of, and we decide to look for certain basic rights and requirements, which is standard now, like, you know, and if anything, and then I know the word strike in the GAA is a dirty word because, like, it doesn't happen too often, you know, it's not the thing. And like, you hear it in a professional sense, you know, people going on strike, but like when you're playing the game and you're not getting paid, like, how are you going on strike? Because you're doing it out of the love of the game. So we I wouldn't say we won, you know, like obviously it's viewed as the players won that battle, but like we didn't see it that way. Like, it wasn't like FU county board and then we put you back in your box. Like, it wasn't, it was just like, okay, grand. This is what we needed. Let the rest, like, leave the rest to us and we'll do that. And then to be fair, we did for the next 4 or 5 years, we justified that action because
you won 2 All-Irelands.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you know, like, it is because initially it was, the spotlight was on the county board saying, Jesus, like, they were seen as the bad guys, you know, like, kind of, like, and it was like poor players, like, and then next, when the county boards kind of, when they conceded to the demands, next the spotlight was on the players. No, lads,
fucking do something, boys.
You've talked the talk, no, walk the walk, no, here, lads. Yeah. So, like, there was huge pressure, and then that's why when we had lost the All-Ireland final in 2003 and 2004, like, you know, there was a bit of that going on, like, saying, Jesus, look at these, like,
they're always
big boys showing out.
And you never hear a word out of Kilkenny.
No.
You never hear a word out of them, good or bad.
They could be killing each other down there. They're just very good at keeping under wraps.
Absolutely. So, like, thank God 2004 and 5 that it worked out for us, like, you know, and then so that was the first one, right? And then the other two, which was like, it was just unsavory. Like, it pains me having to mention because in the first one with the county board, there wasn't much. There was no casualties, but in the second and third one, there were casualties where the manager had to step down on the side. So Gerald McCarthy, who was a Cork great icon, you know, he'd won 5-6 All-Ireland medals. Like, he had to step down for the dispute to be resolved. And then at that stage, as you mentioned, Kilkenny are. They're like the Roman army, killing, like, everyone inside, and they're going from village to village, and they're leaving
and what's it like
a trail of destruction. And then we're like, so after the strike, we can't back it up, unfortunately, on free performances.
And what's it like? You're living in Cork City, walking around, like, are people saying it to you? What are you getting? Time of the second strike.
It's funny. The people that come up to you are the people that support you. The people that are giving out, they'll never say it in front of your face, like, but you can be sure, like, kind of, as soon as you're gone down the road, like, look at that EJ, what's he up to, like, kind of bringing the whole game to disrepute and all that, like, kind of. But the back end of my career is dominated by disputes, and then that coincides then at a part of myself and a lot of us that were 10 years on the road, like, we were depreciating assets at that stage. Like, you know, we weren't the same players we were a couple of years before that. And then, like my performance in particular, like, one good game, 3 bad games, another good game, 3 bad games.
Was that the moment that you thought, I've enough of this, I'm going to retire?
I should have, like, in hindsight, when I got dropped by Dennis Wash in 2010, I should have remain there. But again, your ego takes over, and you think you're wrong, and everyone is wrong, and your testosterone is flying, and then like you want to prove everyone wrong, and so I'm still bullying to get back.
Yeah.
So I have a year off where I'm dropped. There's a change of management. Jimmy Barry Murphy comes back in, and then Jimmy gives me a phone call. Would you be interested in coming in?
You
No
don't turn that
guarantee.
down.
Oh, sure. So do you know the way in Jerry Maguire, like kind of where Tom Cruise is talking to Renee Zellweger, and then she said, "You had me at hello," like you know, like I said, Jimmy,
Jimmy had you.
Jimmy, you had me when you said, "Do you?" Like so I come back for another year, but worst decision of my life, lad.
Really?
I like that Paul McCartney song. I'm not half the man I used to be. I was.
Did you get much game time that year?
I got a good bit of game time, but initially in the league I got a good bit of game time, and then during the summer then in the championship, it was clear that I wasn't part of the plans. So I was on the bench for a lot of the Munster championship games, but oddly enough, like we play Waterford in the quarter-final up in Thurles, and I start that game, and I keep my place for the semi-final against Galway. Galway beat us, but I took a good look at Croke Park that day because I knew like that.
Did you know at the final whistle?
I kind of knew like I'll be back here, but I'll be on the other side of the wire looking in. I won't be.
A lot of lads don't get to finish their career on the pitch in Croke Park.
Correct.
You know.
Correct. So at least I had the gratitude of experiencing that, and then when I walked off, I knew like that. And at that stage, then there was the changing of the guard. Then you could see it, like there weren't many fellas like. I was 35 at that stage. There weren't many fellas that I'd soldiered with like 10 years before there, and then there was a new breed coming in, and then do you know what? That's healthy, that's natural, that's evolution. Do you know? And
Can I ask you about the club then?
Oh yeah.
When did you finish hurling with the club?
So I had the 4 greatest years playing with the club. When I retired with Cork, I played on for another 4 years. Not in terms of like that I won a lot with the club. We didn't win anything. I think we got to county semi-final. We got hammered, but those 4 years was freedom. For like I just felt freedom, like that there was.
And you're there all the time then as well. Like you're
absolutely, and it can be frustrating at times because like when you're used to 16 years, in my case, when I was involved in the Cork setup, like you're used to 16 years of the dressing room being full of 30 guys or even more, 34. Everyone's there training. So you have to come from that high down to a club training. There could be 7 guys training one night. Another guy, there could be another night there could be 16. 2 weeks time there could be 21 when the game is like the 60 players there. So, but you still treat your club training as if you were with Cork. That never loses you. Like, they're like so the old habits die hard that way. But the freedom that I found from finishing off my club career was when you're playing with Cork, like it's all to the hammer. We need to do this, you need to do that, you need to take him out, you need to keep him scorers, you need to. I didn't get the same messaging at club level, so you just went out and expressed yourself. And
what position were you playing?
Wing. So I played wing back.
Still with the club.
I still played wing back. Yeah. So
did you ever play a bit of junior, or did you finish at senior?
No, when I finished the senior, that was it.
No interest in a bit of junior.
No, I was cooked. You could stick a fork in me at that stage. Like I was.
You'd have done
a job on the edge of the square now.
Maybe so, but I'm not like I could be a lot of things, but I ain't Brian Cochran, lads.
But I think just from what we know of you, I'd say it wouldn't be in you to play and not take it serious.
Yeah, so that was probably another driving reason why when I finished the senior level with the club, where as much as I give about the amateur attitude towards it, but it is taken very serious. So I'm either all in or nothing. Do you know, like
that's the impression we get.
It's either, and then if I'm in, lads, That's I'm in for the long road, but like if I think it's going to be half shoddy or whatever, fuck that.
Yeah.
Our 7th question, I know there's been a lot of small ones in between, but the 7 official ones, is there anything you would change about the game today?
I still enjoyed hurling. Was like if you didn't hit the man, hit the ball. Like, you know, I miss those days. Like, you know,
or more pulling.
It's a bit rougher, yeah.
Or like, there was something magical about John Fenton and Joe Hayes just going in a clash ball and really pulling in a clash ball. No one pulls in the ball anymore. Like,
isn't it funny now? Even at club level, if a fella came in and pulled on the ball,
it's a free against you. Like,
yeah,
isn't it? No, but going anyway.
But even if he's on his own and a fella pulls on the ball, you'd be thinking, "Fucking take him off, right? Why didn't you pick that up?"
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's really frowned upon now. I grew up on ground hurling in Cork, like, you know, at underage with my club in the Piercy and playing with the school in our monastery. Like, you just spent hours and hours of just pulling the ball on the ground. So everyone be scattered around the pitch. They'll throw out 50 balls, the nearest hurling ball to you, you just pull on it. North, south, east to west, just letter it. And then if there was another ball near you just ran to that and you just lettered a shot out of that. Yeah. And then you did that for like 40 minutes and then the next drill then is you go into twos, line up in twos and in twos, 2E in front, another 2 behind, another 2, ball in front, whistle blow, first 2 would go, bash on the ball, you go back to the line, next 2, next whistle, bash, and you just that. Like to me, it was a great. It was a great education. It was definitely 2 years just hitting tires.
Yeah, that was another form of like kind of perfecting your, ground pulling and then like strengthening your wrist, like so. And then I sound like an old fashioned gambine when I mentioned about like, but I do miss
ground stroke.
Miss the ground hurling, even though overhead pulling, lad. Like so, my memories as a teenager being at Cork Ticketmaster finals. So 1990s, my first one up in Thurles, Tipper All-Ireland champions from 1989. So they're raging half free of us, Cork and not giving a prayer. I mean, Cork in the league that year couldn't beat. If Azerbaijan were in the fucking league, Cork couldn't beat. Cork were cat in the league. But anyway, out of nowhere, Cork pulled rabbits and they beat Tip, who the All-Ireland champions in Thurles. And so that's, and they go on to win the All-Ireland final. That's grand, and that's the year of the double. The following year, the game changes. Cork play Tip again. The game changes on a Declan Clark overhead pull. Yeah. Like Cork are coursing 10, 11 points. We're licking our lips, like saying like we're going to Cork or again. And then a speculative ball comes in. Declan Clark, one hand overhead pull. So the ball is coming in at pace because Joe Cunningham, who I played with, who was the Cork goalkeeper, and I, towards the end of Ger's playing career, I'm in a dressing with Ger, and Ger tells me, he says, the hardest ball to stop as a keeper is a quick fast ball coming in and someone just gets a small deft touch. Yeah. Because he says it speeds it up twice as much again. Like it doesn't have to be a real rasper double, but he says Declan Clark got a deft touch, and he says, he thought he had the flight of the ball covered first, but when Declan gets it, before he puts his hurling on, it's gone. Like, Cunningham tells another funny story. So that was the comeback. Pat Fox then gets the second goal, so tip up down to 3 points at that stage. It's like, oh, knees are buckling now, like down the town end now, and then the winning score is a fella, Aidan Ryan, Bobby Ryan's brother. He comes on as a sub, and he does 2 ground blocks. And the ball falls lovely, and he comes in and he finishes it off. Like kind of, as a supporter, we knew when Aidan Ryan, when he was brought in, we knew like that was danger, because that man was a terrier. He could run, run up and down, like, and
pitch invasion. Then,
but that's what happened in '91, lads. I know, but like I'm showing my age here, but in '91, lads, during the game, the Tip fans behind the Kleinen end start coming on to the pitch behind the goals. And then Joe Cunningham, when Tip were making a comeback, so when Tip get a goal, the fans would stream on, celebrate, and then they come back, and the referee would have to get law and order before the game would So when Aidan Ryan gets his last goal, Cunningham is looking for his puck out hurley. Fuck, it was my hurley's gone, lad. They were gone. He had no No, puck out hurling.
I said I'm gone.
Gone. Fuck.
The Tip fans are thoroughly robbed.
So, can the Tipperary patron there please return back Cunningham's hurley from back from 1991? But like, I'd love to see
bit of tradition back.
And the spontaneity that came with, but look, unfortunately the coaching has just moved on from that now, and it's all about possession is 9/10 of the law, and everyone wants to pick up the ball and all that, and I wouldn't. There's not much about the game I wouldn't change in terms of introducing a new ruler. I think the game is fairly, but I'd like to see the more man-to-man combat back, because now it's all about doubling up in pods and getting numbers around the ball.
One big battles like you would have had.
Yeah, Johnny B. Like no one doesn't hold positions anymore. Like you have cornerbacks now scoring points, for God's sake. Like
you should never have that.
It's gone mad.
So, but like outside of that, I think it's still a great spectacle, the game of hurling, and then allow me to continue. Like,
well, Seán, thanks so much for coming in, man.
You're a legend,
lads.
lads.
Fantastic, lads.
Thanks a million, man.
Lovely. Thanks for having me.
Best of luck with the coaching.
Thank you.
Hey. This is On The Bench with the two Johnnies with Board Gosh Energy. You've got to love the weekend. On The Bench drops on Fridays. There's loads of cracking GAA to watch Saturday and Sunday. And with our sponsors, Board Gosh Energy's Weekend Smart Plan, we get night rates all weekend long. Lovely stuff altogether.